It was early in the morning on the 16th of January 2013, and Christy Wysocki was asleep in her home on a horse ranch outside the little town of Elbert, Colorado. At 1 a.m., she was jolted awake by a ping on her phone, alerting her to the arrival of a disturbing text message from her husband Steve. "I love you. Bad problems. We'll call later." Immediately she texted back, "What does this mean?" Seconds later, she received the reply, "Terror attack. Okay now, we'll try to call later." This was the first indication to anyone outside that the huge In Amenas natural gas plant in Algeria, a joint venture by BP, the Norwegian state oil company Statoil, and the Algerian oil company Sonatrach, had been overrun by a large band of heavily armed jihadi terrorists coming from neighbouring Libya. They had executed some workers and taken as hostages over 700 employees. Steve, along with Christoph Zinner, another mining engineer working at the plant, had managed to hide, but fearing discovery at any moment, Steve managed to fire off those texts. Christy recalls, "There was probably about 10 seconds of me thinking my world was ending, but then I decided it was not going to help him if I panicked." With great presence of mind, she immediately started making phone calls, alerting BP in London and the US State Department. Like Steve, Christy was a graduate of the Colorado School of Mines. She knew that the oil and gas business could involve working in dangerous parts of the world. That meant she was mentally prepared for surprises. She later told the university that in all the years since she graduated, she had never put her problem-solving skills to the test more than she did during the 4 days the In Amenas crisis lasted. She warned the FBI, which made sure that the cell phone networks didn't cut Steve and his colleagues off. All her management training had taught her how to focus on the problem at hand, but she never thought that her task would be to try to keep her husband alive on the other side of the world. Other staff in different parts of the large In Amenas plant had also flashed urgent messages to their families and to the Statoil headquarters in Stavanger. Steve Frazier was travelling on a bus leaving the facility when it came under attack by the terrorists. Crouching on the floor, he texted his wife, "Call US Embassy, bus under attack." As reports of the attack arrived, the companies struggled at first to keep up with fast-moving developments on the ground. Then they worked together to assess the risks to the hostages and to those hiding in the complex, and considered how the situation might be resolved. An important step was to ensure that the families of those caught up in the attack were sheltered from the demands of a global media hungry for interviews, and to avoid inadvertent disclosures that might prejudice any rescue mission. The terrorist group had issued a series of demands, including an end to French military operations against militant groups in northern Mali. Hostages would only be freed if these demands were met. The Algerian government abruptly announced it would not negotiate with the hostage takers and would not respond to their demands. Instead, Algerian special forces launched, without consultation with the US, UK and Norwegian governments, their own helicopter raid. The attack came as the terrorists were transferring many of their hostages within the site. The vehicles in which they were travelling were attacked by Algerian gunships, causing multiple hostage casualties. When it was all over, 29 terrorists, 39 foreign hostages, and an Algerian security guard had been killed. But 685 Algerian workers and 107 foreigners had been freed in the Special Forces rescue operation.